You are now tuned into Convos with Kohl.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another episode of Convos with Kohl. This is your host, Wendell Kohl, and welcome to episode 5. And this is a special episode. I have one of my good friends that I've actually known for a couple of years. His name is Kevin Koh on this podcast, and Kevin is a personal trainer and an energy healer, certified. He flies around from different cities, so from all the way from LA to Atlanta to New York City. And with EA, otherwise known as Energy Alignments, he helps facilitate the space for people to heal emotional, physical, and mental imbalances. And I actually had the pleasure of having a session with Kevin a couple of years ago, which since then has really helped me with my communication and a lot of different aspects in my life. So I wanted to get him on the podcast today and kind of talk about, really we have a wide-ranging conversation, to tell the truth. We talk about everything from chakras and how to balance yourself to finding yourself and becoming, more powerful within yourself. And at the end of the episode, we have a special bonus for those who kind of want to get into meditation. And we're going to actually feature it as the next episode 3.5. So I hope you guys are ready for this and enjoy my conversation with my good friend and guest, Kevin Koh. And I'm glad to have my good friend Kevin on the show. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for being on it. First off, thank you for coming on and wanting to come and spread your expertise and your knowledge to everybody, man. I definitely appreciate that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. It's a pleasure to be here, and I definitely do appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this podcast.
Of course, man.
Thank you.
Of course. So just for some of the people that might not know exactly who you are or what you do, can you kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself and, the things that you fly around the country to do from coast to coast?
So I am an energy alignment practitioner, and I use different modalities from Reiki to chakra readings, chakra balancing, Qigong, a system called bars through access consciousness, muscle testing, PSYCH-K, and I'm also NASM certified. So I'm incorporating different modalities in my sessions to help you get in touch with what's present and what needs to be let go of. And through the chakras and through the acupuncture points and through opening the meridians, which are energy channels in the body, I'm giving a client or just, whoever is interested in a session the opportunity to release that stagnant energy that is blocking them from, living a life of ease, right, of joy. So it's just an opportunity for people to relax, take the time to just evaluate where they are in life and what they're feeling energetically and give them opportunity to clear it. And also, I like saying my sessions are door openers.
Door openers.
What?
So you just said a lot of words there, and you kind of just mentioned a lot of different things, a lot of certifications that I know that not everybody knows. We're going to touch on that. But I guess kind of what got you into this? Like what, can you tell me the story about how you even became to get interested in this?
It was crazy. I was watching a show, and then I don't know if it was Oprah
changing lives.
Yeah, but Oprah was advertising The Secret.
Okay. The movie The Secret or the book?
Both. At that time, there was a book, but then there was a documentary or just an explanation of The Secret that, they promoted it together. It was the same thing, but I watched it, man. The Secret really opened my eyes, man. And then I was 19 at the time. I was 19 in New York, living on my own. 163 in Amsterdam, going to BMCC, worked at JFK Terminal 5, the old JetBlue terminal.
The old one.
I was a wheelchair pusher. Yeah, at the old JetBlue terminal. And
they're building up Have you been to LaGuardia?
Yeah, they're redoing it. Yeah, they are.
Man, it's a lot of.
That's gonna be dope. Nah, but I was there, man, and they're redoing the whole terminal and everything. But yeah, I'm that's where I'm at, man. That's just what I'm doing.
So you saw The Secret, because I also saw the movie too. I don't remember if you're the one that told me about it or if I just happened to stumble upon it. But, I watched the movie too, and I was listening, and, a lot of things that they said make sense, especially about being able to picture something in your mind and then going after and getting it. So you were 19 when you first saw this. So how did that transform you into now you're doing energy alignment?
Okay, so I guess I'll talk about the journey really quickly.
Take your time.
Okay. So the journey started with watching The Secret, and then after that, it kind of opened up this manifestation ability. Because The Secret is really about focusing your attention on something and channeling it through desire or through the pulling energies or whatever you want to say. So with the law of attraction, I remember either doing meditations or visualizing or seeing things, and then therefore having it come about.
So the first time you meditated, was it on your own?
I wouldn't even say if it was like a meditation, but it was just I had a vision, and I said that this is what I wanted in the vision. And then 2 days later, it would show up, whether it was money or a shorty I was thinking about.
So this actually happened to you?
Yeah, no, this is just started this manifestation ability. And I was oh wow, because I was actually applying what The Secret is talking about, because The Secret is just about, okay, you could create your life with intention, and kind of gives you the tools. Okay, use your imagination, and then feel like you already have it. And I was using that, and then there was okay, wow, you can create your life, because I was doing I guess the process of the law of attraction, and I saw results. So fast forward 2007 or 2008, I think 2008, I started talking to old mentor of mine. She was actually my tutor in school.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I wasn't one of the smart Asian kids. Bro.
You're one of the smart
I wasn't, bro. I was I needed help, bro. I needed help. School was hard for me. I ain't gonna say my GPA, but it wasn't high, bro. I remember just...
School wasn't your thing.
Not my thing.
Right.
So going to the Landmark Forum, which was what happened in around that time, I met an old mentor of mine, and then she told me about the Landmark Forum. Going back, she told me about the Landmark Forum, and in that space, I really got to open up something where I got to clear a couple things that were kind of in my space or were debilitating me from really growing. And that's a crucial time, because that's the beginning of my 20s. So it really created this platform for me to really create a life of creation, invent a life of creation. And that's I did a Landmark Forum. That was okay. I did Landmark Forum after New York. And then that's when I created, I want to go to Georgia.
You thought of it in your head?
I thought of it. I was I'm about to pledge. And I was I'm about to pledge too. I'm about to go to school, and I'm going to pledge to be the bros. And it was crazy because, I knew a couple alphas on the block growing up. My best friend, one of my best friends is a Zero, and, her sister's a Delta. So, I knew about...
So you knew about
the Divine Nine. I knew about D9. But then I envisioned myself. I was I'm going to go to Georgia, and I'm going to pledge. I'm going to be the bros. I'm going to be in step. I envisioned all that. And then look, it
happened.
It happened.
You're wearing fresh shirt right now.
I'm actually wearing, some Nelia right now. So I think the more and more I'm practicing, and I guess I had to get present to the way to be really powerful, or I'm still learning. I just turned 30, so I'm still learning. But the way to utilize your power is to really remove the distractions, or to get present to the blockages or the resistance, and confronting it, being real with it, wrestle, dance, whatever you want to call it, and authentically give it its moment and let it go. And in that space of opening, you could authentically create with momentum, with power, with invention.
So do you have an example of how that happened to you?
Well, like I said, the bruhs, what I'm doing now, I'm really happy, and I'm grateful for what I'm doing. I have my own business. I'm working with clients. I'm helping clients get clear on what it is that they need to let go of, or what it is that they need to just face or just be with, or what it is that they could create moving forward. Whatever it is. I feel like that's a gift of mine, and that's something that I'm using to help others get present to their power.
So first off, you see The Secret, and then you go and you have this transformation in your early 20s. From there, take me from how you got from there to where you're at now. How did you get connected with the people that you learned from and all these different certifications? How did you know even what certifications to do?
Anything to go back to the question that you said, like, okay, what's an example?
Right.
It's this. I mean, everything where my life is now is an example of how I utilize this creation. Because when you declare something or when you decide something, and I don't want to get too superstitious because there are certain things that I think in this quote unquote new age movement or spiritual movement or positive vibes only movement, like everybody want to be positive, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't fuck with that shit because I think that it's very important to be real. And some of the things that we're afraid to admit that are real or truthful ain't positive. So I'm also in that world.
I think you also have a blog post about that, about having courage in order to be true to yourself. A lot of people, well, these days we have social media and a lot of people kind of put on the front for what people think that they want to see. So what do you do when you do energy alignments?
So energy alignment or an energy alignment will start with you laying down on the table with your backside on the table, chest facing up, and you are going to be led through a process of relaxation by breathing deeply. And as you breathe, I'm going to go through each chakra and give you a reading on what's being felt in those areas.
So for those that don't know, what is a chakra?
A chakra is like an energy vortex, or it is an energy vortex located from the crown of your head down to your perineum gland, which is like between your anus and your sexual organ.
Right. You know, the first time I actually heard about chakras, I was watching Avatar, The Last Airbender. You know what I'm talking about. And there's a scene where he's with the monk and they go through this whole process of opening up all 7 chakras. And, you know, him kind of, it was a way for him to get into what's called the avatar state, basically where he's just has all the power beyond belief and pretty much the most powerful man in the world at that point. So what are the 7 different chakras? I know there's a root chakra. I know there's sacral. Like, can you kind of go through what some of the chakras are and kind of what they signify or what they mean?
Okay, so there are 7 chakras in the human body. There's more if you want to get deeper into that go above and below, but there's 7 that govern what's going on in your physical aura. So, or etheric aura. So you want to start with the first chakra, which is the root chakra, and the root chakra beams red. And when it is blocked, that's blocked by fear, by issues of identity, by issues with the family, by issues with money, the material world. Like, the root chakra is the canvas. It's the energy of like, this is it. I am here. And when you look at things and touch things, you're very focused, like you're present. Going upward, it's a sexual energy. And the sexual energy is located in the sacral chakra. So the second chakra deals with emotional imbalances and deals with sexual imbalances and deals with any issues that you have around flow or letting go or feeling emotions. And it's blocked with shame, guilt. If you have anything around like sexual guilt or emotional guilt, this chakra is going to be blocked. And this governs the penis and the vagina.
So how would you know when you have erectile dysfunction when it's blocked?
It's like it could be manifested as erectile dysfunction, STDs, viral diseases, anything around the genital area. And it deals with like emotion, because that chakra deals with pleasure. It's like it's the fun chakra. It's the pleasure chakra. It's the chakra to create. It's literally where life is born. So that's why people who practice sex magic use this energy in that chakra to create. Because literally, it's that sex energy is what helps create. It helps to create life, but you can also create life, like manifesting things with this energy. So of course, if you're in a state of guilt, you're going to block that energy. So it's very important to keep.
Is it guilt about what? Just about anything? Like, yo, I took your money. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. Or
it could be that. It could be that. It's where you punish yourself. It's where you subconsciously punish yourself.
So a lot of people might not even know that their chakras are blocked.
No, a lot of people. I mean, the chakras, if anything, work at a very subconscious level. But when you consciously observe it, you have you're given the opportunity to look at it, be present with it, and let it go. But you just have to be cognizant what governs what.
So when we finish talking about the chakras, I want to come back to that about how you can recognize your own chakras, how you can become more conscious of it.
For sure.
That's definitely something a lot of people. I've told some people that we were doing this podcast, and that's something a lot of people actually wanted to know. So definitely we're going to get into that, but let's continue. So we have the root chakra, we have the sacral chakra. What do we have next?
The next one is the third chakra, and this is in the solar plexus. So the solar plexus governs your will. This is where your power is. This is where your confidence is. This is like where that extra force that you put into stuff, when you do that extra rep, when you go the extra mile, when you're running, or when you're writing your essay and you're tired, it's 4 a.m, but you just have to finish it out. This is your willpower. And this governs issues with self-esteem. This governs issues with self-worth, self-value. What am I worth? How much am I worth? What do I deserve in that worth? What do I deserve? It's the what do I deserve? Like, what do I deserve? Yeah, what am I supposed to get? Like, what I deserve.
So it's almost like not two extremes, but when this chakra's full, you're very confident.
And you could be very egotistical when it's the main chakra running. Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, when it's too much.
It's like a yin and a yang.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, you have to, of course, find your balance in that. But when it's imbalanced, it could either be because you feel guilty and ashamed and like you don't feel like you're worthy, or you have like self-esteem issues, like you were very insecure, or you have stuff around who you are and your worth. That whole chakra will be blocked.
So this is almost getting back to what we were talking about earlier. For the person that doesn't know who they are deep down inside, they might not really be able to at least own this chakra to what it can be.
Yeah, but there's also people who don't really know who they are, but they still like have a very strong third chakra because they're like, their ego might be on like, tenfold, like, I'm the shit. I deserve this and that, and people with that will have very strong solar plexus.
I don't know who I am, but damn it. Hey.
Yeah, I deserve this and that. And like, those are people. Give me something. Those are the people, whether you're a narcissist or control freak, that could be from your will. Like your will is so strong is that you'll manipulate the energies, or you manipulate people for you to get what you want.
So is it almost safe to say that, well, I guess it is. You kind of just said it, that manipulators or people that want to get their way no matter what, this is kind of where they might have that imbalance to the point where it might be actually hurting them or hurting their relationships or hurting how they interact with other people.
Yeah, and it could be blocked if you're ashamed. And even going down to the root or the sacral chakra, like it could be overactive. Like maybe you're too indulged in pleasure and you're too, you're so into instant gratification that, or like, you're a sex addict, but then like you abuse while you have sex. Like, what I'm saying is like, these are all imbalances of whether it's overactive or underactive. And the goal is to, balance your chakras, balance the energies. So going forward is the fourth chakra, and that's above the solar plexus, and that deals with love. It's the heart. It's literally the space where you hold life. It's like you're not hold life, but hold the space for life. Your lungs, your heart. The fourth chakra deals with, is located in the heart center, so it deals with your lungs and your heart. It's your capacity to take in life, capacity to...
All right, because the heart gives you life. If you don't have a heart, essentially you will die.
So people with closed heart chakras sometimes deal with issues around self-love, forgiveness, unwilling to forgive, or you might be so full of love, but then like the love might be outside of you. Like your love is dependent on other people.
Right. Those are the people that, do you think deep down that they don't love themselves?
Yeah, it's almost like their love is outside. It's like their love is based on pleasing or other people loving them, you know? Because the love is like they are full of love, but then their love is based off of the love of other people.
It's almost like they need like external validation.
Yeah, it's external validation for the love. So that all that stuff is in the heart. So people could manifest breast cancer. People could manifest strokes, heart attacks, high blood pressure. This is all heart chakra related.
So would you say that somebody that was in a relationship and say somebody broke their heart and they are now afraid to love again or afraid to kind of be open to somebody else because they kind of want to avoid being hurt, which is a very common thing. It happens very often. Would you say that they're kind of imbalanced in that heart chakra? Like they're not living it to their full potential. They're not using it to what it should be.
Yeah, because, you know, they're not channeling their own self-love. If anything, a real balanced heart chakra is really contingent on how much you love yourself.
It seems like
or allow love or allow others to love you.
Do you think everybody is deserving of love?
Yeah. If they know how to channel it, or if they know how to, channel it, give it, receive it.
What if they don't? What if they don't give?
Well, that's based on their own journey. And if they don't give, then maybe in that moment they're not able to receive. And that's just the cycle that they're in. And that's why their heart chakra is blocked.
So how would people know that their heart chakra? Well, I guess we did say we're going to get back into consciousness, but while we're talking about it, how do people know that this chakra is blocked?
Well, if you have issues around loving, trusting love, issues around like loving yourself, or if you're in a space right now where like you're just really full of hate and you hate the world or you hate yourself, whatever that is, like most likely that's going to result into a blocked heart chakra. So you want to ask yourself, like, what are some of the things that are blocking me from loving right now? And then, you know, that most likely will be dealing with stuff in the heart space.
So as we go through this, like things on each chakra, when you're saying it, I'm thinking to myself like, dang, that kind of sounds like me at this one point. Like a lot of this is kind of reminders like, oh, you know, the good and the bad things. It's almost like these things don't always stay set in stone. Like your chakras are always evolving or always changing, or you're not the person yesterday that you were today. So how do you feel about, you know, your chakras all never being in one place, but always constantly moving and evolving and shifting? What would your opinion on that be?
Well, I try not to get too attached to be like to the whole like, oh, well, this chakra is blocked, so I need a da-da-da. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can do that approach. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I try not to be so attached like with the jargon. It's a lot of jargon. I mean, I use it more as a guide or a vehicle to be, okay, well, this is what I need to like do the work on. This is what I need to face in meditation. This is what I need to do in real life in terms of like to clear up with this and that, or this person or that. You know what I'm saying? It's really based off of using the chakras to kind of guide you to like what the work is. Now, you can do a quick Reiki session on yourself or receive a Reiki session, and they can align you. But just like how you go to the chiropractor, you know, the bones that you aligned yourself with might not be in alignment in 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
What is a Reiki session? Now that you say that. So not everybody knows what that is. I know for sure it was a time where I had no idea what that is.
So Reiki is an indigenous healing technique. It was founded or materialized, they say, in Japan. But then, you know, this is going to the ancients. Like Reiki or any of these healing techniques go back to Egypt, Africa, India. But it was, I guess, documented by the Japanese, and it's a Japanese healing technique that helps you balance the energies in your body. And instead of, as acupuncture helps move the energy, you could do that with your hands, and you could apply acupressure, or you could like kind of have your hands away and you could just channel the energy in helping whatever's blocked energy kind of break up and let go of itself. So yeah, it's an energy healing technique by me placing my hands and my fingers on certain points in the body to help you relax yourself and for you to let go.
Okay. We're going to get back to that, but I don't want to forget about the rest of the chakras. We're on the heart chakra. So we have a couple more to go.
So going forward, there's the throat chakra. The throat chakra deals with lies, and it deals with truth. It deals with illusions, and it deals with truth. So pretty much if you are in a space where, the throat chakra is communication, the space of communication. It's literally the bridge of the mind and the heart. It's the bridge of the head to the rest of your body. It's where you vision and it's where you move. It's the bridge to that. So if you're in a space right now where you have all these great ideas and, even like, you might know who you are, but there's like a part of you where you don't want to be real about something, or there's like a part of you where there's a big untruth and it's like in the background, your throat chakra will be blocked. And therefore, because you're trying to protect yourself, or your ego is trying to protect yourself, you might get to a space where you might start engaging in lies, or you might start believing some of those illusions because you're scared to communicate the truth. Either scared to speak up, or you're afraid to, deal with the energy of truth.
I see what you're saying, because I remember we had a session years ago. It might have been maybe 2-3 years ago. I think I was at a time in my life where I actually had a tumor in my neck, and we did a session, and you're kind of expressing to me like, hey man, your throat chakra is broke. It is not broke. Your throat chakra is blocked. You're not communicating with yourself, and you're not being truthful to yourself. And I remember you told me to repeat this phrase to myself, 3 times a day, or however many times a day it was. I communicate my deepest truth with ease, joy, and comfort. I still remember to this day, because it was something that I repeated pretty much every day. And even going up to the surgery, because I had to get this, it was a tumor in my neck. It was the size of a lemon. You couldn't even tell. It was crazy. And from the time we had our conversation and speaking, there are many different ways that a blockage in some form can manifest itself. Because for me, it was in the form of a tumor. But for others, you say that they may start to engage in lies or
physically, throat cancer, right. Throat issues.
So what is the best way to, well, let me ask you this. So if people are having communication issues, say in relationships or with life, that you're thinking one thing, but it's just not getting communicated to the other person, Are you jumping to the fact that, this might be your throat chakra? Like, what are some things that they can do to help clear this up? How can people communicate better and be true to themselves?
You could look in the mirror, or you could just sit with yourself and then just start admitting the truth to everything that you've been in denial of.
How do you start? That sounds so much easier than actually going and doing it. Like when you sit down on the floor, what are some things that you can think back? How do you actually start that? Because it sounds cool as hell.
Well, I mean, you can start that by just when you're sitting down in the car and then you're having your daily thought process, or when you're driving, or whatever, when whatever comes up. I mean, if it comes up, it comes up, and be present to it. Like, what in your life are you not wanting to admit? What in your life are you not speaking up for yourself? Where in your life are you not expressing yourself? The throat chakra deals with expression. So this is where you tell the world who you are. You share with the world who you are. Where are you blocking yourself from expressing that? That deals with, communication, expression, expressing your creativity. They say that your sacral chakra and your throat chakra are very connected because they deal with expression, creativity, and expression. So those are very two connecting points in the body, that you need to be present to. And
so is that almost like when one is when the one kind of overshadows the other? Like, say for example, your sacral chakra might not be as strong, so you kind of overcompensate by being a really good communicator, being a really good talker or converser, or even the opposite, where you're not really good at speaking, but you have a strong sacral chakra. You got a lot of energy down there.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure. Of course, there are times where like you could be very creative and sexually free and have good emotional health, but not maybe talk or express it, or vice versa. Maybe you're a great talker, but you have a lot of guilt where you don't want to feel emotions and you don't want, you're blocking yourself from pleasure and sex. So yeah, those are very important energies, more going down towards the body. Now we're going to start going upwards. So the lower chakras, the first, second, and third, deal with more of the physical realm. The heart chakra is the bridge between the physical and the spiritual. And the throat going up deals with more of like the mental, the spiritual, the mental.
Self-actualization.
Yeah, it deals with the brain. It's more of the brain because it's closer to the brain. So this deals more with thought realm. So the third eye, which is the brow chakra, which is above the throat, deals with vision, deals with your thoughts. It deals with your connection with your higher self, your visions going forward, your psychic intuition. This is clarity of vision. This deals with that. And it's blocked when you are blocking yourself from wanting to visualize what it is that you want, when you're like having a hard time focusing, when you're kind of out of it. This deals with pretty much your ability to see and read between the words. So read between the lines, I mean. So if you have an issue with seeing and using your intuition or seeing your intuition, that's where everything is located, is in the third eye.
I've heard a lot of people use that term so loosely. Like the third eye, I can say I got three eyes on it. I got one in the back of my head.
But that goes with the spiritual jargon I'm talking about. Like I really don't want to be part of that spiritual jargon right now. But yeah, I get that.
Do you also get, because that's more Eastern like traditional views, or it's more widely accepted in the Eastern part of the world compared to the Western. So how do you feel?
Well, I mean, there's connections with the third eye in Egyptian culture. I mean, the eye of Horus represents the pineal gland. The pineal gland is the third eye. The pineal gland is what governs the third eye. And the pineal gland physically deals with your emotional state. I believe it deals with like the dream state.
It has a lot to do with sleep regulation.
Sleep regulations. But if you think about it, it's also like dealing with when you're asleep, when you're conscious. When you say, oh, be woke. But what they're talking about is really being like really awakening yourself. Like, so when you have a wide third eye, you start waking up to the truth to a lot of things. I mean, the third eye is like the eye opener. It's where you literally open your eyes. You're like, whoa. You start seeing things, and some people ain't ready to see, so they block it.
Like the truth of the people that we have, like, for example, the people that we hang around that might not necessarily be good for us, or the truth about ourselves could be a big one. I feel like it's a lot of things that people aren't ready to hear, because a lot of people love to be comfortable, and hearing things that kind of threaten your comfortable state, or your state of being, having something repetitive and something reliable, or one way of thinking, kind of scares a lot of people because it requires you to grow. Growth is hard.
But it starts with you looking at stuff. Growth starts with you looking at stuff. So that's all located in the third eye.
So for anybody listening to this, sit down with yourself and kind of get to know yourself, of what you want.
That's meditation. Yeah, that's why I promote meditation. you could do that with, walking a trail or going to a foreign country. I mean, these are all meditative things, but I mean, one way you could do it at home or to clear yourself or to clean yourself is through meditation. And that's by you just kind of questioning things. And the question, that'll open up stuff in the third eye.
All right. So there's two more, right?
So no, the last one is the crown chakra. So the crown chakra is like your connection to the heavens, your connection to God, your connection to your higher self, like the third eye. But this is more like your connection with the astrals or the heaven energies. And your root chakra is more your energy that connects with the earth, the roots of the earth, the grounding of the earth, you being present here. So the top deals with more of like your spiritual connection, your connection with God. And this is blocked by a stubborn ego.
Stubborn ego. Basically thinking you know it all or thinking that you have everything.
Know it all, or like you're like attached to the material world, so you don't want to really listen to what God's saying. I mean, God might want something else, but your ego might be like trying to prove something else. That deals with like you blocking, when we block God's message or our higher self's message because our ego wants to do something else, that's where it's blocked. This is very spiritual. It's more like the spiritual chakra, if not the most spiritual chakra.
So how can we become more because we spoke about it earlier. We touched on it slightly, but how can you become more conscious of your chakras and of the state that you're in? Like, what are some things people can actually use to determine, where they're at?
Well, you could always meditation will open this up, but you could like put your hands over each chakra and just kind of ask yourself like what's present. And then sometimes you can even feel it. You can even feel what the energy is there.
Even for somebody that's not trained.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Meditation will help you get into that space. But if not, like, yeah, I would just like the most how to do way for you really to get present to your chakras is meditation. Because you have to literally close your eyes and you have to feel and see each chakra. But that takes time and practice. But the best way to do that, or the only way, well, I don't want to say only way, but the logical way to do that is for you to start closing your eyes and start meditating on each chakra.
So how do you meditate? How does Kevin Koh meditate? Because, when you see it on TV, you're thinking, you got your legs crossed and you're doing and you sit there for 10 minutes, but people start it, their minds go 1,000,001 places, they can never really concentrate, and they're like, oh, this doesn't even work, and then just throws the table up and walks away and goes back to the world and of just everything, just feeding them information, goes back to, TV, radio, whatever it is.
So my meditation consists, I have multiple meditations. Some meditations I'm just being present to the resistance of certain truths in my life and parts of me that don't want to let go of certain things. And, I guess you could say it's like a conversation with me and God or me and my higher self. There's breathing meditations where you just do nothing but focus on your breath. There's body meditations where you're, really present to your body and how it feels and what it looks like inside. And there's chakra meditations. And the chakra meditations is pretty much you focusing on what energy you see or feel and what you're present to in each part of your body where the chakra is located. So that involves you closing your eyes and just breathing and, start decalcifying that third eye, that pineal gland, start like letting go of like certain ideas and, that'll do nothing but open up your clairvoyance or your ability to connect and see with the astral.
So if I'm here and I feel like my root chakra is not where it needs to be.
You could even feel it too. Like if you get present to it, you could even feel like if you're like, man, my feet's been hurting or I've been having issues with my feet. That could be connected to an imbalanced root chakra.
There's times where I could feel it, where I would know. I'd say to myself, hey, I just need to go out and just put my feet on the ground. I just need to be on some soil or just sit down, go to the park and just sit on the ground for a while. Because, I feel more connected to earth, I mean, because literally you're sitting on oil, so you're like your feet are connected with the soil or the grass or even the sand, ocean, whatever it is. You know, I feel like when you become conscious to it, when you kind of know about the chakras, you can kind of tell where you're off at. When I was in a relationship and I got out of a relationship, I knew where I was off at. You know, I was holding a lot of different emotions, and it was affecting me, and I knew I wasn't the person that I normally am. But it's hard not knowing exactly where to reach out to or what to do in order to kind of fix that or kind of get back in line. And it's not easy. You think that, hey, I sat down today, I thought about who I really want to be in life, and I got it. I'm good. I meditated for 20 minutes and I'm straight. Like, it's not as easy as everybody thinks it is. It's not that quick.
No, I think that's what's it. I think we all kind of want this quick thing to kind of hurry up and, you know, create this next blessing and get over this hump. But a lot of these things of resistances are some things that we've been feeling since we were kids. And it's important to face it. It's important to confront it and let it go.
I mean, I totally agree with that. I think anybody could honestly really use that advice and take it to heart. It all, just like Michael Jackson's song, "The Man in the Mirror."
Exactly. But I also want to get clear is that I'm not just about, let everything go and kind of be blasé. You know, I'm saying let go so you could be clear with the intention of what you want to create, and see if what that is distracting you, if you can let that go. You know, if anything, let go of the distractions, because there is, you know, importance. Like I said, the third chakra, which deals with will, it's important to use that strong willpower to push through that muck, push through that laziness, or push through that fear for you to know that, hey, I'm gonna get this no matter what, you know? So yeah, it's just like different energies, like different consciousnesses all in the body. And I think that when you are in alignment, you're balanced with all the 7 chakras, and you're pretty much in a balanced state with each level of consciousness. And when you use that energy, you could really be powerful. So
what's something, cause I always want people to have, you know, some tidbit or something that they can use in their daily lives when after listening to whatever podcast I have going on or whatever episode it is. What's something that what are the first two to three steps that people can use to align first know where they're at with their chakras and kind of be conscious to where their energy lies, and then how can they help realign that? What are some steps they can take? I know you said meditation, and you kind of got into some different types of meditation. Like, what are some things that they can actually do?
So YouTube has great guided meditations, and you could go on YouTube and you could look up different meditations based on the chakras, root chakra, you know, third chakra, heart chakra, whatever you look up. You can really go on YouTube and just look up any guided meditation. There's guided meditations on balancing all chakras, or there's guided meditations based on what you're going through. If you really just take the time to just listen to these meditations before you go to sleep, it could create a shift in you mentally, and you might start seeing things come into your life differently, because at a subconscious level, things are shifting. And guided meditations are powerful because they use, you know, the speaker in helping the person listening to it kind of guide them to that meditative state. It also has binaural beats in the background, which are vibrations that help balance your energies in your body. So these are all very useful tools in helping you get into the world of meditation or balancing the energies through meditation.
So what about the person that says, man, I'm too busy to do all that. Like, I don't have time in the day. I only have 5 minutes to put towards it. I don't even know if 5 minutes is enough time. What do you say to the person that says, hey, man, I'm just too busy for that?
And that's all good. You're too busy. That's all good. I'm not here to force nothing on nobody. That is not my job. I am not here to do that. I'm not here to push meditation. I'm just giving it as a tool. Like, you know, if you're about fitness or physical health, you know, the main rules is for you to diet and for you to work out. And if you're serious about your spiritual health, meditation is a very powerful tool, just like working out is for physical exercise and physical health. For spiritual health, meditation is a powerful, powerful tool. If anything, it is the working out. It is a working out.
It can decrease stress, and you know, studies have shown that stress could lead to increase in heart attacks, increased cardiovascular disease. There's a lot of negative effects that stress has on the body. You can make more prone to having infections. So there's a lot of things that
it puts you in a more relaxed state because you're harnessing the energy without having the energy kind of tackle you.
Right. So I kind of want to switch gears really quick and kind of talk about our purpose in life and how people come across their purpose. And I know you have an interesting story. I kind of want you to tell me the story about Jaleesa and how she impacted your life. When you dropped off at the airport, you made a blog post about her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I went back, man.
I went back, bro. You read it. I didn't know you read it.
I went back.
Well, yeah, shout out to Jaleesa. She's really going to appreciate this. Shout out to Jaleesa. Jaleesa definitely, the conversation I had with her, she definitely opened the door in terms of me just refocusing my energy, because I was in a stagnant place at that time. I was in Atlanta and I was still really just kind of confused with like, what am I supposed to do next? And I made the move to LA and I really went hard on building this practice.
So what's the story? What's the story behind this whole, like, who is Jaleesa first? Like, what is the story behind this?
Jaleesa is Rebo's friend. Jaleesa is Keena's friend. Keena's maid of honor. Okay. So when they got married in Connecticut, that was maid of honor, and we were all just hanging out. And we had a conversation about our purpose and our truth. And I remember she was sharing me with her stuff, and then I was pretty much telling her, like, I want to travel the world, and I really want to help people get present to their power and their truth. And she pretty much was like, well, make the move. Or she didn't tell me what to do, but she was encouraging me of like, no, you need to go out there and you need to handle this. You need to do what you got to do. And then it was almost kind of like that confirmation of having someone else to kind of tell you what you've been telling yourself in the subconscious mind, like in the background. And she was just kind of like that voice I kind of needed to hear at the moment. And she just got me present, man, to, okay, well, I'm going to get up and I'm going to move to Cali and I'm going to do this. And yeah, I went back and just kind of started from ground zero, and I started doing a lot of like my spiritual work and started like, you know, getting present and confronting things and, you know, solidifying my business. And
now I know you just now flew back to LA, and beforehand you were in New York doing sessions, and then before that you were in Atlanta doing sessions, right?
Right. So, and I was in Cuba doing sessions as well.
So I
was in Cuba. I did. Cuba was dope because that allowed me to do sessions in Spanish, because I've done sessions in Korean with my parents. And
how many languages do you speak, just for the people that don't know?
I speak Spanish, I speak Korean, I speak English. And yeah, man, it's been dope. I'm just so happy to be where I'm at. And yeah, shout out to Jaleesa. That conversation was definitely powerful, and I definitely am very grateful for her and coming into my life and kind of giving me that. And not to say, like, there's been other people who were telling me that, but then it was something in that conversation where it just shifted. And I was like, oh, damn, you should have got paid for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like yeah.
It's crazy how the effect of one person can really change, like, your whole life course. Right? It seems like that's what she did for you, but she helped you find your purpose, which you kind of already knew. Is that kind of correct?
Yeah, like I knew that I'm supposed to be here and I'm supposed to be doing this right now. But to have someone else kind of validate that or to validate that and to encourage you and kind of be like, nah, like kind of kick you, like get your ass up and go. That was just kind of like that one conversation I needed before I dropped her off at the airport.
So since you started, I know you've done like dozens upon dozens upon dozens of sessions with people. What are some of the best reactions that you've gotten from people?
Man, I mean, you know, sometimes the body be shaking. Yeah, the body be shaking, or like it gets really hot because the chi's flowing. Yeah. You know, and some people, you know, might feel like it's a safe space to, you know, let some emotion out, whether it's anger or sadness or grief, whatever. I think really I do my best to keep the space very neutral so that the safest space for them to experience what they need to experience, you know, for them to let go and so they can relax.
And so when you do these sessions, what is there a common theme that you're seeing that a lot of people are having? Like, are you like, okay, a lot of people are dealing with this issue right here?
Yeah, I'm noticing that it's kind of weird, and it's like almost like I'm manifesting some of these clients based off, you know, a higher purpose or higher reason. But there are sometimes weeks where like I notice that the theme of that week is like most people are dealing with a certain issue. And it might be like, okay, this week people are all dealing with self-worth issues. You know what I mean? But I'm also being very responsible because I'm getting where is it within me where I need to clear my self-worth issues? Or where is it that I need to clear, you know, my egoic or controlling issues? You know what I'm saying? Like I have to get present to where the imbalance is within my own space. And, you know, I make sure I meditate when I'm seeing, you know, something common and why I'm manifesting these type of clients. Or
it's kind of like you have to be in balance, like, for lack of better terms, in order to help somebody else.
Right. Like you can't, I'm not trying to fat shame or body shame, but it's kind of like the fat personal trainer. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. And, you know, there's parts of me where I'm like, oh, shit, well, you know, I ain't trying to embrace this title yet because, you know, I have imbalances here and there because I'm still doing my work. But it's important for light workers, energy healers, psychiatrists, therapists, massage therapists. It's important for every one of us to be in our own best tip-top shape so that we can be a space or a vessel for other people. So yeah, it's important for myself to meditate, do the work every day, face my demons and face what I'm resisting. Also set intentions and be in action with what I said I'm going to do. You know, it's important for me to, you know, be in integrity with the work that I provide for others.
It's funny because when you say that, when we first started talking about this, the thing that popped up in my mind again was Avatar, because that's just my show. Because, you know, you learn a lot. And the scene that I thought about when you were talking about that was, it was one towards the end where Aang, he's in this Avatar state. He's facing the Fire Lord Sozin, which is pretty much evil guy, wants to pretty much kill everybody, take over the world, and have a lot of power. And so Aang is having this internal conflict of what to do. He doesn't know. Everybody's telling him he should kill the Fire Lord, but to him, he was told that every life is sacred and that you shouldn't kill anything. And he was having this internal balance, or just not this internal balance, but this internal struggle. And spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen Avatar. It's old, so if you haven't seen it by now, shame on you. You should go see it. But it gets to the end of the scene, the moment where he's about to take out, you know, Fire Lord Sozin and end the show, and he stops and he does something what you really wouldn't expect, in that he puts his hand on his head and channels his energy and takes away his fire bending, basically his powers. And in the background, it says that in order for you to be able to take somebody else's power, because in the scene or in that show that hadn't been done. But in order for you to take somebody else's power or change their energy, you yourself had to be pure, because if you're not, it'll corrupt you. And like, that was one of the deepest things I ever got from a show, and I've seen it multiple times. It's just crazy how you just had to kind of remind yourself of that when you're talking to all these other people and like telling them what they should do, and when you ain't even, just like you said, the fat personal trainer.
No, I mean, I don't want to be a person who helps other people to avoid doing my own work. And I get present, like, okay, when I get present, I have to always check in and see, okay, well, where am I doing? Like, it's important for me to be clear in my own stuff, for me to be space for others. And not to say that I got it, but to be in a neutral space where there isn't attachment, there isn't heavy opinion. There has to be a space where it's open so that you can kind of let whatever needs to flow. So it's important for me to wash myself, to work out. I have to spiritually work out so I can help other people spiritually work out.
I totally agree with that 100%. I definitely can see how a lot of things that you say can help somebody find themselves or find their true selves. It's like you said, starting off with meditation and then progressing to, what do you progress to after meditation?
You can do chi work. I mean, there's all these different, like qigong, tai chi, kind of are different techniques that help you move energy in your body. Tai chi, qigong, breath work. Breath work goes hand in hand with yoga, where you're stretching, you're taking deep breaths into parts of your body that need oxygen. Some people use breath work to heal themselves of ailments, because the breath is powerful. Breath is life. It's prana. I'm all my mind, body, soul thing. So I don't think it's just meditation. It's working out. It's stretching. It's, also getting present to your emotions. Like, what emotions are you avoiding? What do you not want to feel? What scares you? What emotion scares you? Facing that and feeling it. That's an expression of advanced work.
Sometimes it's hard to know what emotion you're feeling. Especially me as a guy back in the day, before I kind of got more in touch with some emotions. It was just anger or like happy. All the stuff in between, it just got channeled one towards the other.
Well, I mean, we grew up in a culture where for men, we have to be strong. Yeah. And you can't show weakness, and everything outside of being happy or anger is weak. You're not supposed to feel shame. You're not supposed to feel guilt. You're not supposed to feel disgust. I mean, maybe you could feel disgust because I guess that could go into anger. But you're not supposed to feel some of these quote-unquote weaker emotions. And the thing with that is that when you suppress those weak emotions, they subconsciously enslave you. And they're like in the background, like as you're the puppet kind of pulling the strings, and a lot of your things that you think you're intending to do are actually coming from the space of those suppressed emotions. So it's really important to do the work and feel some of those things so you can tie the knots. You could let those emotions loose and you could clear the waves. And that, that could be advanced work for someone who doesn't feel emotions at all.
Yeah. The emotionless, the Tin Man, what they call it. No emotions, just logic. It's like you need emotions or you need gut feelings. Or one thing I started to learn is that once you realize that you can start to read other people's energy, even when it comes down simply to the fact of people, when you, like, for example, when you don't like somebody or you just don't feel right about doing a business deal, like you just can't put your finger on it. Like you don't have any logical explanation, but it's just
it's your intuition. The world I play with, bro. That's right brain. Because left brain is logic, right brain is the creative. Yeah, the right brain deals with emotions, feelings, art, expression, stuff like that.
So I have some really quick questions, or it might be a little bit longer, but I have some questions. So if you got $50 million today and you couldn't spend any of it on yourself, what would you spend it on?
I would build up like these centers in different parts of the country and the world where they can go and heal themselves holistically. And I would build up like these buildings where it's subsidized, because a lot of these communities that are gentrifying are displacing a lot of families. So one of my passions for advocacy is to help the community sustain itself by at least having housing. I definitely want to create like subsidized housing in low-income areas around the country and in the world. So yeah, I'd say like holistic centers, and I'd create housing opportunities for people who are being displaced by gentrification or imperialism. They taking over.
They taking over. What are your morning rituals? What are the first 60 minutes of your day look like?
I just kind of sit and I just kind of get present to like, okay, what do I need to do today? I meditate.
5-10 minutes meditation.
It varies. I mean, every day I need at least 30 minutes to an hour, maybe 2 hours, really depending on the day. But it's the first hour is just kind of it's like the intention setting. Like, okay, what do I need to do today? What's going to happen, and what's the schedule going to be? It's kind of like the clearing, the meditating, the washing, the cleaning. It's kind of like, let me get ready. So it's like a spiritual cleansing. And I usually work out. I work out like within the second hour of the day.
Any special breakfast or anything that you take in the morning?
You could do like a green shake, a beet shake. Shout out to Diego. He put me on these juices. Diego is a powerful tantra healer and a yogi. And he definitely put on to, eating fresh beets, which is very grounding. Yeah, juicing. I recommend like a nice little green juice in the morning, or, blended spinach, stuff like that.
What advice would you give to yourself at age 20?
To trust myself, to love myself, to trust myself, and to embrace myself.
Do you have a quote that you live your life by? That you think to offer?
No, I never thought of that. I guess the quote, if anything, is like just be your truth, or be who you are, love who you are.
And last one, I guess this is kind of a two-part question. What would be your perfect day? In the morning or whenever you wake up to the time you close your eyes to sleep or whatever you do, or nap.
My perfect day would be I wake up to a tropical, beautiful white sand beach. I meditate, I work out, I stretch, then eat some breakfast. I do like maybe 3-4 sessions on the beach. And then afterwards, I go in the water and I chill and I just live. And I might go explore the town and have certain experiences and meet certain people. And I connect with my loved ones. Yeah, I spend my time with my loved ones. That's a very important thing for me.
Totally agree. Time is... Some people value money, but I don't really value money as much as time. You can always get money back, but you can't get time back.
Yeah, I'm really about having meaningful experiences with people and people I love and people I could learn from and I could contribute.
And speaking about the time, of course, I want to say thank you for coming on the show and speaking and giving your advice and, kind of talking about your story and some of the things that you've gone through. But where can people reach you at? Do you have a site? Well, I know you have a site. You kind of want to tell people your site, your social media, how they can contact you.
Yes. So my Instagram is Kev, EB Kev, EABY Kev. And my website is eabykevkev.com. eabykevkev.com. It's energyalignmentsbykev.com.
I just figured that out today. Like I was looking at the IG and I was like, what is? I always used to say EB Kev when I used to. Then I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is Energy Alignments by Kev. I was like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah, Energy Alignments by Kev. So you can hit me up. I have contact information on my website, and you can always shoot me a DM, and we could communicate through that email. It's all on the website. And yeah, shoot me a text or email anytime, and we could set up a free 15-minute consultation on just to touch base on what the session could provide for you.
You also have a podcast in the works coming, right?
Yes, I'm actually working with Dota Bread, which is a transformational company, and the podcast is called The Work, or I think that's our beta name right now, but it's The Work, and it's transformational podcast is a podcast where we're really getting present with who we are and getting present with just the work and what it is to be here on this earth in this times, during these times, and, you know, how to reclaim and hold our power and to really move forward and creating a life that we love and live it powerfully. So stay tuned for that, and we will be in communication with the release of that podcast as well.
Thank you guys so much for listening to episode 5 of Convos with Cole with my good friend Kevin Kohl. I hope you all enjoyed listening to that as much as I enjoyed recording it. And I hope you guys have the first steps in how to balance your own chakras. Now, for show notes and to look up some of the things that he mentioned, you can go to www.convoswithcole.com. And I'm going to ask you guys, we are a couple episodes in, and I would love to hear you all's feedback. So please go and leave a review and a rating and just give your honest opinion. I would love that. And I thank you in advance for helping me out and telling me what you like. Also, stay tuned, because right after this episode, if you guys are, just want to jump into a guided meditation, that is going to be episode 5.5. It's a guided chakra meditation by Kevin Koh. And I did the meditation myself, and it was great. So check out the next episode if you all want to meditate. And thank you for listening, and have a great day.